Hello students, let's welcome to the Art of Answer Writing session. In the previous class, we have discussed about two terms called define and the describe. Now, in this class, we are going to see the term called discuss. So, as I already told you, whenever the word describe has came, you need to highlight only the positive or negative points according to the connotation of the given question. But whenever the word discuss has came, you need to highlight both positives and negatives. Both positives and negatives. But here, you need to understand the basic nature of the question. Whether the question is showing the positive significance or the negative significance, you need to understand from this question. Now, let's see. The first question, so the question here discussed is that, discuss the consequences of climate change on food security on the tropical countries. So here, before navigating into the question, we need to understand or we need to break the question into suitable parts. Here, the first part is consequences of climate change. Like, what are the consequences of climate change on food security? On food security, especially in the tropical countries. Here, they have not asked about the influence on whole of the world. They have asked about the influence on the tropical countries itself. So here, let's see how we should approach the question. Now, while coming to the introduction of the question, how can we write? Now, we can mention like the present scenario based introduction. We can start with the scenario based introduction, especially by mentioning with the various examples. We can mention that various tropical countries over the globe, especially the countries with respect to Africa, are facing the huge amount of shortage of food, which is leading to increase of the hunger and malnutrition. So, this is how we should mention about scenario based introduction by giving example of the African countries by highlighting the social consequences faced by those particular countries. This is what we should write about the introduction. Now, let's see the body part. So, how we should approach the body part? In the body part, we need to mention about the consequences. See here, the question is having the negative tone. So, first we need to mention the negative consequences of having change in climate change on food security. First is the negative consequences is that decrease in the yield. So, the yield of the crops gets decreased. This is the first and foremost consequences. And along with that, what happens is that increase in the pest rate. Increase in the pest rate. So, whenever the yield is being decreased, automatically highlight or underline it with the social consequences like increase in the hunger and malnutrition. Hunger and the malnutrition. Highlight with this particular point here. Now, this is the first factor or the first negative consequences of the food security. Now, try to link it with the particular point using flow chart, like how it is increasing the internal conflicts between the people and how it is leading to spread of the various diseases. How it is leading to spread of the various diseases. So, this is how you need to highlight this particular point, like impact of climate change on the food security in the India. Now, you can support this with a proper diagram. Now, before that, let's see the positive consequences of climate change. Now, along with that, we can also support with some of the negative changes where changes in the marine conditions or marine ecosystem occur, where decline in fish population occurs. Where decline in fish population occurs is also one of the factor that is affecting. And changes in the sensitive ecosystems. Changes in the sensitive marine ecosystems like corals, mangroves, seagrass, etc. are the major reason which is acting as an impact on the human lives. This is about the negative consequences. Now let's see the positive consequences of climate change. Here we can mention about some of the positive consequences of the climate change. The first and foremost thing is that increase of the CO2 levels in the atmosphere will automatically have increased the rate of the photosynthesis in the plants. But this is helpful only for the few plants and it is not helpful for the all plants. This is called carbon fertilization. So this is one of the advantage, and because of this there are some of the positives or some of the new inventions. Let's say for example, growing of the crops which are water resistant, means which can tolerate the water stress or changes in the climate. Let's say for example, you can mention the examples like scuba rice, and you can highlight with the number of upcoming farming systems like growth of zero budget natural farming and the organic farming, where genetic crops must be grown. Genetic crops must be grown in order to address the issue of the climate change. Now see here. Since this question is having the negative tone, we have mentioned about 7 points on the negative consequences, and we must mention only 3 or 4 points on the positive consequences. Why? Because in these type of questions, understand the tone of the question and do not balance the positive points with the negative points. Here, you must not balance. You must understand the tone of the question and increase the number of points according to the tone of the given question. So, this is what you need to understand. So, here we have substantiated, like, what different we have done from the others is that we have written both the positive consequences, negative consequences and examples. We have linked it with the other data in the introduction, and also we have linked it by drawing the map, of the country. Now, let's see how can we draw the proper map. Let's say I already told you the question is asking extensively only on the tropical countries, but not on the all the countries. It is asking especially on the tropical countries. Now let's have a look on that. So let's say, so this is just like basic world map. So just outlines of the world map, just basic. So see, so here they are highlighting about only this particular region. So this tropical region, they are highlighting about only this particular region. Now see the countries which are present here: Central American countries, African countries and India and some other countries. Now here you can highlight by mentioning about the issues that are being present here. Especially the main problem that has been suffering in this particular region is that lack of proper rainfall. This is the first issue that has been highlighted in this particular region. And here what happens is that increase of the droughts, and which is leading to hunger. This is one more thing we can highlight here. And here in the Himalayan region, what we can highlight is that because of the reduction in snow line, so the amount of snow has been getting reduced in this particular Himalayan region, which is acting as a major factor for reduction of the vegetation. And here you can also mention about the changes in the marine areas and marine areas vegetation. So this is how you can support your answer by drawing a proper diagram by mentioning about different regions and how they are getting impacted. Okay, now the thing is that we are done with the body part and introduction, body part, proper diagram and proper analysis of the given question. Now the thing is that how can we write the conclusion? So how can we write the conclusion? So in writing the conclusion, what we should do is that since this is like 10 marker question or 15 marker question, the space is not sufficient, but we are discussing problem here. We must mention the way forward in the conclusion itself. If your space is available for you, then you can write the way forward in the above the conclusion. But if the space is not available, you can write the way forward in the conclusion itself by mentioning that since many of the countries, especially in the tropical areas, are experiencing food insecurity, the major step what we need to do is that proper coordination effort and must be taken, and also human or anthropogenic causes for the variation of climate change must be reduced in order to have proper food security. So this is how you need to conclude by telling the two solutions and also the coordination effect. This is how you must conclude the answer. So this is about the word called discuss. Remember, whenever the word describe has came, you must write either positive or negative, but should not write both according to the question. But whenever the word discuss has came, you must write both positives and the negatives, which has equal criteria or equal mark scoring capability with the discuss keyword. This is what you need to understand from this particular keyword called discuss. In the tomorrow's class, we will discuss one more keyword or one more directive. Thank you. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to Vayu IAS Academy. Thank you.